The Varelian star cruiser Serenity Wing entered Earth's orbit quietly, its smooth silver surface catching the light of the sun. Inside, Princess Thalira of the Varelian Empire stood tall in the center of her private chamber. She was young and beautiful, with soft, natural beauty and skin that shimmered a pale blue under Earth's light. Her people were known for their psychic talents, elegance, and emotional control, but her eyes, as calm as they seemed, held something deeper, something hidden. Earth had recently joined the United Galactic Council, and the Varelians were the oldest and most powerful race in the galaxy. This visit was meant to show unity and trust between humans and Varelians. The treaty Thalira would sign could mean peace or pressure. On the surface of Earth, preparations were in full swing. Security was tight. Reporters from over a dozen planets were ready to record history, and standing silently at the main landing platform was Lieutenant Adam Reyes, a soldier in the Earth Defense Corps. Tall, serious, and sharp-eyed, he was chosen to serve as the personal bodyguard to the alien princess. Adam wasn't happy about it. "I'm a soldier, not a babysitter," he told his commanding officer. "You're not just protecting a guest," his commander replied. "You're protecting the peace of Earth." When the alien ship finally opened its doors, soft lights spilled out. Thalira stepped onto Earth's soil, guarded by two tall Varelian aides. She wore a long silver robe, and her movements were graceful, like water flowing. For a second, everything went quiet. The crowd admired her. Cameras flashed, and Adam stared. She looked nothing like he expected. Not just her appearance, there was something else. A quiet strength. A sadness, maybe. But he shook the thought away. Princess Thalira, the Earth diplomat, greeted her warmly. "Welcome to Earth," she bowed slightly. "I am honored to stand on your world." When they introduced Adam as her bodyguard, she turned to him and studied his face. He stood straight, meeting her gaze without fear or interest. "You cannot be read," she said, curious. "I don't like being read," he replied flatly. She blinked, surprised, but a small smile touched her lips. "That's rare." The princess and her team were taken to the Unity Dome, a beautiful structure built specially for intergalactic guests. It had white stone walls, high glass ceilings, and peaceful gardens with plants from many planets. Inside, Thalira would stay until the treaty was signed. Adam stayed near her at all times. It wasn't easy. Her people were silent, formal, and calm. Adam, a human raised on war stories and mistrust, found their smooth voices and cold politeness strange. But Thalira noticed him too. Unlike her Varelian guards, Adam didn't follow every command blindly. He didn't fear her powers. He also didn't speak unless needed. She found that refreshing. On the second night, Thalira walked, alone into the garden. Adam followed, as was his duty. "Lieutenant," she said, turning to him, "do you always watch from a distance?" "Only when the person I'm guarding wants space," he replied. She nodded. "It is rare among humans to respect quiet." He didn't respond. But then something odd happened. She winced suddenly and grabbed a nearby stone railing. Adam stepped closer. "You all right?" he asked. "I'm fine," she said, standing straight again. "Just a moment of weakness." Adam didn't believe her, but said nothing. He returned to his post. But from that moment on, he watched her more carefully. The next morning, the Unity ceremony was held at the Grand Hall of the United Council. Representatives from over 20 species attended. Thalira stood at the center stage beside Earth's president. Her silver robe sparkled under the lights. She raised her hand to speak, but suddenly, without warning, she collapsed. Gasps echoed across the chamber. Adam, already moving, reached her first. She had fallen softly, like a feather drifting to the ground. Her eyes were open, but unfocused, medical. Team! Adam called. The Varelian aides rushed forward, but Adam blocked them. She needs help now! No! One aide said. She must not be touched by outsiders. She's in medical danger! Adam snapped. He knelt beside her. Her skin was cold, her breathing shallow. But then, her lips moved. Barely a whisper. He knows, she breathed. Adam froze. He knows. Then her eyes shut. The human medics finally pushed through and took her away. The ceremony was over. Panic had replaced celebration. Some blamed the Earth's environment. Others whispered of poison or betrayal. But Adam Reyes couldn't forget the words she whispered. Who did she mean? What did she know? And deep down, he understood one thing clearly: this was no accident. Princess Thalira remained unconscious for over 6 hours. She had been moved to the alien wing of Earth's medical center inside the Unity Dome. Only Varelian doctors were allowed near her. No humans were given access, not even Adam Reyes. Adam stood just outside the sealed door, hands behind his back, eyes sharp. The council chamber was still in shock. The news spread fast. Alien princess collapses on Earth soil. People from all over the galaxy were watching. Earth's leaders gave calm statements, calling it a minor health issue. But Adam didn't believe that. He kept thinking about her final words before collapsing. He knows. Who did she mean? What was she hiding? General Harris, Adam's superior, arrived later that day. He walked beside Adam, speaking quietly. The Varelians say it was an allergic reaction, Harris said. Something in the air. Adam raised an eyebrow. She's been here for 2 days. Why would she collapse now in front of everyone? Harris frowned. You think it's something else? She said something before passing out. Something strange. What? Adam hesitated. She said, he knows. The general looked at him carefully. And who's the he? I don't know yet. Harris sighed. We're in a dangerous spot. The treaty is hanging by a thread. If this turns into blame, it could lead to war. Watch yourself, Reyes. I always do. Inside the medical room, Thalira's body rested quietly, but her mind was not at peace. In the shadows of her mind, she felt the presence again, something she had fought to keep hidden for years, a whisper, a pressure, a darkness. You are no longer safe, it said. Her breath quickened. Her body was weak, but her mind tried to push it back. Not here. Not on Earth. But she knew the truth. It had followed her. Meanwhile, Adam needed answers. He knew the Varelians wouldn't tell him anything directly, so he decided to look into the chamber recordings himself. With help from a friend in Earth's tech division, he got access to the sensor logs from the moment Thalira collapsed. He sat in a quiet room, reviewing the files carefully. At first, everything looked normal. Crowd noise, life signs, camera angles. But then something strange appeared. Right before she fell, Thalira's brainwave signature, measured by Earth's psychic monitoring tech, spiked wildly. Then, a moment later, a drop. Not a normal drop. More like something was turned off. Like someone cut her mind, Adam said softly. He looked deeper. The system recorded a faint wave of psychic interference, almost unnoticeable. It wasn't human. Tech, and it didn't match any known Varelian frequency either. That's not natural, said the tech officer beside him. That's a forced block. Someone or something attacked her mind. Adam stood up. Copy that file. I'm taking it. Sir, that's now. Back at the Unity Dome, Thalira finally opened her eyes. A Varelian doctor stood beside her, scanning her vitals. You are awake, he said softly. How do you feel? Weak, she replied. Expected. Your mind took damage. Thalira turned her head. Was anyone near me? In my mind? The doctor paused. We detected an unknown pulse, but we told Earth it was allergies. Her voice dropped. Do they know? We don't think so, but Thalira was not convinced. And the human, Adam Reyes, was he told? The doctor shook his head. He was kept outside. Then they underestimate him. She turned her face to the wall. Her thoughts spun. She had taken a risk coming here. Earth's psychic fields were unstable, chaotic. But she had hoped the chaos would hide her from them. She was wrong. Adam returned to his quarters late that night. He reviewed the psychic pulse data again. Something bothered him. How the Varelians reacted so fast, almost too fast, like they knew this would happen. He looked through old Varelian reports, treaties, and council notes. Hidden among boring lines of text, he found a small reference to a banned technology, the null thread. It was a psychic parasite, not alive, not quite tech. Once inside a host, it could copy their thoughts, twist their decisions, and hide its presence completely. Most species couldn't detect it, but humans, some humans, had natural immunity. Adam's jaw tightened. What if she's infected? Next morning, Adam pushed his way past guards and entered the medical chamber. The Varelian aide tried to stop him. She is resting. I'm her bodyguard. She's under my protection. Thalira sat up weakly when she saw him. You should not be here, she said. I need answers, Adam replied. You told me he knows. Who? Thalira looked away. I saw the psychic data. That was no allergy. Something attacked you. You've been hiding it. A long silence. Then quietly she said, You are immune, aren't you? Yes. Then you were the only one who could feel the truth. Adam stepped closer. Tell me what's inside you. Her hands trembled. Her voice was quiet. There is something placed in me long ago. A thread. A mind that's not mine. I've kept it locked away with my own strength. I came to Earth to escape. But now it knows I'm trying to break free. Adam stared at her. Why didn't you tell? Your people? They're the ones who put it there. The cold white lights of the Unity Dome medical wing flickered softly as Lieutenant Adam Reyes sat near the glass wall of the isolation room where Princess Thalira rested. His mind raced with questions he could not yet answer. The princess's revelation that her own people had implanted a psychic parasite inside her shook him to the core. Adam had always believed in clear rules, orders, chain of command, and strict protocols. But now those rules felt weak, fragile, against the complicated truth he faced. He thought about the null thread, the parasite that could hide in a mind and twist thoughts. If it was true, then the princess was not only a victim, but a prisoner of her own empire, and Earth had become a battleground, far beyond a treaty ceremony. For days, Adam followed orders, watching the perimeter, guarding the princess. But each hour made him feel more powerless. The Varelians refused to allow any human access to her medical reports or psychic scans. The Earth Defense Corps insisted on silence, fearful of offending the powerful alien race. But Adam could not stay silent. Late at night, Adam found a quiet corner in the Unity Dome's lower levels. He pulled out a small data chip he had taken secretly from the psychic monitoring room. The chip held the psychic wave recordings from the day of the collapse. He plugged it into his tablet and stared at the waveforms, the spikes and drops. There was something hidden in the patterns. Something faint but clear to a trained eye. Adam contacted Dr. Neela Sarkar, a brilliant xenopsychologist who had studied alien minds for years but worked mostly in secret, away from politics. Dr. Sarkar, Adam whispered on a secure call, I have something you need to see. It's about Princess Thalira's collapse. There was silence on the other side for a moment. Send it, she said finally. If what you say is true, this could change everything. Adam transferred the data and waited anxiously. The next day, Dr. Sarkar met Adam at the Unity Dome. She was small but fierce, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. After a long review, she said, "This is a psychic parasite, known in the darkest parts of the galaxy as the null thread. It's forbidden, banned by every major species. It can invade a host's mind without them knowing, blocking memories, twisting thoughts." "Do humans have any defense?" Adam asked. "Very few," she answered, "but those few are immune. And your immunity may be why you felt something off during the princess's collapse." Adam nodded slowly. "She told me it was placed inside her long ago, by her own people." Dr. Sarkar's eyes narrowed. "Then she's a political prisoner, inside her own mind. If the parasite is still active, it could control her decisions or even betray Earth." Adam clenched his fists. "We have to remove it." Dr. Sarkar shook her head. "It's not that simple. Removing the null thread can damage the host's mind permanently, and we don't even know how strong it is now." Back in the medical wing, Adam requested a meeting with the Earth Council's security chief. He laid out what he had learned. The security chief frowned. "If this gets out, it could destroy the treaty and start a war." Adam's voice was firm. "It's already happening. The princess isn't safe, and neither is Earth if the parasite activates. Your orders are to protect the princess, not expose secrets. I'm protecting her by trying to save her." After a tense moment, the chief said, "I'll bring this to the council, but until then, no more independent action." Adam left, feeling frustrated, but determined. That evening, Adam broke protocol. He had to see Thalira alone. Using a stolen key card and a nervous guard as a distraction, Adam entered the isolation room. Thalira looked pale but alert, her soft blue, skin still shimmering faintly. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, eyes tired but focused. "I had to come," Adam replied. "We can't wait for permission to protect you." She studied him for a moment, then said, "You are brave, human, or maybe foolish." Adam smiled faintly. "Maybe both." They sat together in silence for a few moments, the quiet hum of machines filling the room. Thalira finally spoke. "I don't know how much longer I can hold the null thread inside. It fights harder now that it knows I want to break free." Adam looked at her closely. "Can it be removed?" "Maybe," she said. "But I need help from someone who understands both minds, human and Varelian." Adam nodded slowly. "I know someone." The next day, Dr. Sarkar met with Thalira in a secured room. The princess was cautious but desperate. Dr. Sarkar explained, "We will try a psychic therapy session. It's a kind of mental scan and cleansing, but it will be difficult." Thalira took a deep breath. "Do it." Adam stayed nearby, watching carefully. The room darkened as Dr. Sarkar began the therapy. She used a small device that emitted gentle pulses, designed to interact with psychic waves. Thalira closed her eyes, her breathing slow. Suddenly, her body tensed. A shadow flickered behind her closed eyelids. Adam watched, heart pounding. Hours passed. Thalira opened her eyes, exhausted, but calm. "It reacted," she said softly. "The null thread tried to fight the therapy. It's stronger than I thought." Dr. Sarkar looked grim. "We need more sessions, but each one will weaken her." Adam's mind raced. The Varelian Empire wanted to control her because of the power she held, but Adam and Thalira were beginning to fight back. That night, Adam stood outside Thalira's chamber, staring at the stars above the Unity Dome. He whispered, "You're not alone." Far away, in the shadowy halls of the Varelian Palace, eyes watched. The Empire's leaders were angry and scared. They would not let their secret slip away easily, but neither would Adam Reyes. The night sky above the Unity Dome was quiet, the stars shimmering softly over the city where humans and aliens gathered in uneasy peace. Inside the medical wing, Princess Thalira lay resting, drained from the psychic therapy sessions. Lieutenant Adam Reyes stood outside her room, his eyes tired but alert. After days of silence, she finally asked for him. Adam stepped into the softly lit chamber. Thalira sat on the edge of her bed, wrapped in a light silver shawl. Her pale blue skin seemed to glow faintly under the gentle light. Her eyes, deep and thoughtful, met his. "You came," she said simply. "I'm here," Adam answered. "You wanted to talk." She nodded slowly. "There is something I must tell you. Something I have never told anyone before." Adam took a seat nearby, ready to listen. Thalira's voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "The null thread is not just a parasite. It is a tool. A weapon." Adam frowned. "A weapon? What does it do?" "It invades the mind, but it can do more. Then control thoughts. It can block memories, hide truths, and even change emotions. Those who hold the thread hold great power." She paused, searching his face. "My own family, my own people, used it against me." Adam felt a chill. "Why?" Thalira's hands clenched. "Because I refused to marry my cousin, Prince Varel. The marriage was a political move to strengthen his control over the empire." "And the parasite?" Adam asked. "It was implanted in me years ago during a secret ceremony. It was meant to keep me obedient. But I resisted. The parasite was supposed to make me loyal. Instead, it made me a prisoner in my own mind." Adam shook his head. "That's horrible." "It is." She looked away. "I ran away. I hoped the treaty with Earth would give me protection. But now they hunt me." Adam stood slowly. "Then we have to protect you, no matter what." Thalira smiled faintly. "Thank you, Adam." Outside the room, the city buzzed with news and rumors. Some believed the princess's collapse was a sign of weakness. Others whispered about secret wars behind the diplomatic mask. But Adam and Thalira shared a secret now, one that could change everything. The next evening, under a sky full of stars, Adam and Thalira walked through the quiet garden of the Unity Dome. The plants swayed gently in the cool breeze, an alien mix of colors and scents. "You don't have to pretend with me," Adam said softly. "I don't care about your royal title." Thalira looked at him, surprise flickering in her eyes. "You trust me?" "I trust you more than most," Adam replied. "You're fighting a battle no one else sees. That makes you real." They walked in silence for a moment, then she spoke. "Tell me about Earth," she said. "About your people." Adam smiled. "Earth is messy, full of mistakes, but also hope. We fight to survive, and sometimes that makes us strong." Thalira nodded slowly. "That's strength. I see it in you." Suddenly, a low alarm echoed through the Unity Dome. Lights flashed red. Security forces rushed past them. Adam's hand went to his sidearm. "What's happening?" Thalira asked, alarmed. Adam grabbed a nearby communicator. "Unknown breach detected near the council chambers. Everyone stay alert." They hurried back inside. In the council's main hall, security teams surrounded a figure. A small Varelian man, panting and sweating. "I'm Ambassador Dren," he gasped. "There is a plot against the treaty. The null thread is part of a plan to control Earth's leaders." Gasps filled the room. Adam stepped forward. "What plan? Who is behind this?" Dren looked around nervously. "Some in the royal court want to use the princess as a puppet. They believe Earth's technology can be controlled through the parasite." Thalira's eyes narrowed. "They want to trap me again." Adam felt a surge of anger. "Not while I'm here." The council called an emergency meeting. Representatives from many planets gathered, debating the threat. Earth's president spoke. If these accusations are true, we face a danger greater than any war. We must act carefully. Thalira stood before the council, her voice steady despite her weakness. I'm not a weapon. I am a person. The parasite inside me is a chain I refuse to wear. She looked at Adam. I ask for your trust. Together we can break this chain. The hall was silent. Many eyes watched her closely, some with doubt, others with respect. After the meeting, Adam and Thalira returned to the garden. Do you believe they will listen? She asked. Adam smiled. They have to, because now they know what's at stake. She looked up at the stars. And what about me? What future do I have? Adam reached for her hand gently. A future you choose. For the first time, Thalira felt hope, not as a princess bound by duty, but as a person free to fight for herself. Far away, hidden in the dark halls of the Virelian palace, the true enemies watched and planned. They would not give up their power easily, but on Earth, a new alliance was forming between a human soldier and an alien princess who refused to be broken. The Unity Dome was no longer calm. After the ambassador's warning and the emergency council meeting, the air was tense. Whispers passed between species. Some believed the Virelians had betrayed the peace talks. Others said Earth had done something to the princess. No one knew who to trust. But Lieutenant Adam Reyes knew one thing for certain. Princess Thalira was in danger, and not just from outsiders. The real threat was inside her mind, and inside the treaty itself. That night, Adam met secretly with Dr. Neela Sarkar and Earth's top intelligence officer, Commander Loran. The parasite is not just a weapon, Dr. Sarkar explained again. It's also a communication tool. Someone could use it to control Thalira's actions, or worse, to speak through her during the treaty signing. Adam frowned. You mean they could hijack her body? Make her say anything they want? Dr. Sarkar nodded. Exactly. If she signs the treaty under the parasite's control, the entire agreement becomes a trap. Earth's systems, defense, codes, maybe even leadership access, everything could be exposed to Virelian influence. Commander Loran looked serious. Then we can't let the treaty be signed as planned. Adam stood up. We have to stop it, and we have to get that thing out of her. Meanwhile, Thalira sat in her room alone, staring at the stars. She felt the presence in her mind again, cold, silent, watching. They are preparing, the parasite whispered. You will obey. But Thalira closed her eyes and focused. She imagined Adam's voice, his strength, his belief in her. I will not obey, she whispered back. The next morning, Earth's council received a message from the Virelian royal palace. Prince Varel, Thalira's cousin, would arrive on Earth within 48 hours to observe the treaty signing. It was a clear threat. He wasn't just coming to watch, he was coming to take control. Adam met Thalira in the garden again. The air was cool, the flowers glowing faintly under the early light. Your cousin is coming, Adam told her. I know, Thalira said, her voice calm but tired. If he takes me back, I will never be free again. Adam looked at her carefully. Then we can't let that happen. We need to stop the treaty. Thalira shook her head. If we stop it the wrong way, it will make Earth look weak. War may follow. Adam thought for a moment. Then we expose the truth. We show everyone what they've done to you, not just in secret, but on the public record. She looked surprised. You want me to speak? Yes. Not as a princess, as a victim, as a survivor, as someone brave enough to tell the galaxy what really happened. She stared at him. I'm scared, Adam. I know, but you're not alone. Later that day, a press broadcast was scheduled. All major species would be watching. The Virelians didn't expect Thalira to appear. She was still marked as recovering. but at the last minute she walked into the hall, wearing a simple white robe. Her head held high, Adam stood by her side, the cameras turned. The room fell quiet. Thalira took a deep breath. "My name is Thalira, first daughter of the Varelian Empire," she began. "And today I must tell the truth, not as a princess, but as a prisoner who broke her chains." Gasps echoed through the room. She continued. "For years, I was controlled by a device called the null thread, placed inside me by my own people. It was meant to use me as a voice, a puppet, a tool. But I resisted. And when I came to Earth, I hoped for a chance to be free." She paused, then said clearly, "The treaty you are about to sign is not based on peace. It is built on control. And if I had collapsed in silence, you would never have known." People watched from every corner of the galaxy. Some sat in silence. Some cried. Others were shocked or angry. Adam stepped forward. "Evidence of the parasite has been confirmed by Earth scientists. We have the scans, we have the witness, and we have the truth." Chaos followed. The Varelian ambassador denied everything. "This is a lie! The princess is confused. She was under stress. Earth is twisting her words." But Dr. Sarkar stood up with data in hand. "We have recordings, brain scans, proof of forced psychic control." The council called for an investigation. The treaty signing was canceled. Earth's leaders stood strong beside the princess. "We will not sign any agreement born from manipulation," the president said. "We believe in honest peace, not forced silence." 2 days later, Prince Varel arrived in secret. But things had changed. Thalira met him in the council chamber not as a quiet pawn, but as a free voice. "You thought I would stay silent," she said, "but you were wrong." Prince Varel smirked. "You think Earth will protect you?" "I don't need protection anymore," she replied. "I have allies, I have proof, and I have my mind." Guards escorted him out. For the first time, the Varelian Empire faced open challenge from within its own royal blood. That night, Adam and Thalira stood on the balcony, watching Earth's moon rise. "You did something no one else could," Adam said. "You told the truth, and the galaxy listened." "I couldn't have done it without you," Thalira replied softly. "You believed in me when no one else did." He smiled. "You gave me something to fight for." They stood together under the stars, two people from different worlds, joined by courage, honesty, and the desire for real peace. The news of the canceled treaty spread across the galaxy like fire in dry fields. Some alien worlds praised Earth's courage. Others questioned the Varelian Empire's honesty. The Council had started a full investigation into the use of the null thread, the illegal psychic parasite hidden inside Princess Thalira for years. But while politics raged and leaders debated, inside the Unity Dome, Thalira finally found a moment of peace. For the first time in her life, her mind was quiet. Dr. Sarkar's last treatment had weakened the null thread so much that it no longer controlled her thoughts. It was not gone completely, but it was silent. And that silence gave Thalira a freedom she had never known. In her private garden, Thalira walked slowly between earth flowers, touching their soft petals with wonder. The breeze was cool. The stars above sparkled like they were watching her closely. Lieutenant Adam Reyes stood nearby, keeping his usual quiet watch. "You don't need to guard me anymore," Thalira said, smiling gently. Adam gave a half smile. "Maybe not, but I'm not leaving." She looked at him with calm eyes. "You could return to your unit, live a normal life again." He shook his head. "Normal life doesn't mean much anymore. Not after everything we've been through." Thalira sat on a bench under a glowing, white tree. "And what will you do now?" Adam thought for a moment before answering. "That depends on you." 2 days later, Earth's Council held a final meeting. The investigation had confirmed the presence of the Null thread. They also discovered secret messages from the Varelian royal court, plans to use Thalira as a controlled puppet during the treaty. The council offered Thalira something no other world had: protection, honesty, and a choice. They granted her political asylum and full independent status on Earth. For the first time, she was not a symbol, not a royal, not a tool. She was simply herself. The announcement shook the galaxy. The Varelian Empire sent angry messages, demanding her return. Earth replied with a firm message of their own. She is no longer yours to control. Thalira stood at the top of the Unity Dome the night after her freedom was announced. The sky was cloudy, but the stars still peeked through now and then. Adam joined her holding 2 hot drinks. "Still don't like our coffee?" he asked. She took a sip and smiled. "It's growing on me." They stood in silence for a while. Then Thalira said softly, "What happens to me now? I have no title, no kingdom, no clear path." Adam looked at her carefully. "That means you get to choose your own path." She turned toward him. "And what about you? What do you choose?" He shrugged. "I choose the same thing I've always chosen: to stand beside the person who needs me." Thalira smiled again, but this time her eyes were filled with something more than gratitude, something warmer, deeper. Weeks passed. Thalira didn't disappear into silence. Instead, she began speaking to alien worlds and peaceful movements across the stars. Her voice, once controlled, now spoke freely. She told her story with honesty, and many listened. She became a symbol of truth, not because of her name, but because of her courage. Adam, now retired from military service, became Earth's official diplomatic escort. His job was to protect ambassadors and delegates, but everyone knew his real loyalty was to Thalira. They worked together, side by side, building connections with other races, especially those who had also suffered under silent control. One evening, Thalira was invited to speak at the United Galactic Peace Forum. Hundreds of species were present. As she walked to the stage, dressed simply in white, the crowd stood in silence. She began. "There was a time when I thought silence meant safety, that if I stayed quiet I would survive. But survival is not the same as living. I was not free until I chose to speak. Some say humans are too bold, too loud, too unpredictable, but in their boldness, I found my strength. In their honesty, I found my voice. I stand here today not as a princess, but as a person who chose truth over fear, and I ask you all to do the same. Let us build peace without chains, without control." The hall filled with applause, not forced, not polite, but real. After the speech, Adam met her behind the stage. "You crushed it," he said, smiling. She laughed softly. "You always say that." "Because it's always true." They stood close, the noise of the crowd fading in the background. "I don't miss the palace," she said. "I don't miss the crown. But I would have missed this." "This?" Adam asked. She reached out and took his hand gently. "This freedom. This new life. This partnership." Adam looked into her eyes. "I didn't save you, Thalira. You saved yourself." She smiled. "Maybe, but you were the first person who saw me. Not a title, not a tool, just me." Above them, the stars continued to shine. Peace was still far away. There were still enemies in the dark corners of the galaxy. There would be more struggles, more hard choices. But the difference now was simple. They would face it together.